I want to welcome those of you who are here and viewing this for the very first time. It's really important that you know that what we have to offer is something that cannot be found in the marketplace, and that is an education that you can actually bank on. Many people in the marketplace do what we do in terms of exposing you to markets, but they don't take you by the hand on a daily basis. 240 days out of the year, save holidays, we're online with you, helping you, encouraging you, motivating you, things of that nature. And so we actually have an education that you can actually take to the bank. We have to make sure that we are compliant with the government. Trading has risk to it. Anytime you deal in speculation, sometimes there's some risk to it. You could lose your sock, you could lose your underwear, you could lose your shorts, you could lose your pants, you could lose your skirt, you could lose your shirt, your blouse, and any other item that you may have on you. And that is the reason we have education, and that is the reason we make sure that we know what we're doing before we actually do it. The government disclaimer is this, and I want to give you 15 seconds to read that and acknowledge that you have read that by putting a 1 in the chat. Acknowledge when you have read this by putting a 1 in the chat. We cannot go any further unless we have 11 ones in the chat. You have to acknowledge that I did not tell you that you're going to make $1 million tomorrow. You have to acknowledge that I did not lie to you and tell you that this is a get-rich-quick scheme. You have to acknowledge the fact that I'm not telling you something that's not true. Anytime you involve yourself in anything without knowledge, you can get hurt. If you drive a car without knowledge, you can have an accident. If you play football without the knowledge that you need a helmet, you could get killed. Anything that you do ignorantly, you can be hurt. So the market wants us to know, the government wants us to tell you that you need to be knowledgeable before you do anything like this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your cooperation. It's really important that we make sure that we stay in compliance, because what we have is just too good to be ruined on a mere technicality. I promise you that I want to show you something. I'm going to make it abundantly clear to you how the marketplace technically works. I'm going to make the 4 phases of price delivery elementarily simple to understand, and make the advantage that you have by being within our social group crystal clear. When you talk about money and you talk about this government and the way the economic system is comprised, it is what we call a mixed economy. That means part of it is capitalistic and part of it is socialistic. Socialism is when you depend on others to provide for you. Capitalism is when you understand that as a citizen of this country, you have the opportunity to make your own way straight. So you can take a portion of money that you have in IRAs, bonds, mutual funds that you have with robo-advisors. You can take a portion of that money, get an education that will allow you to even supersede what you're making over here. And so that is called, in our economic system, or portfolio diversification, DIY, do it yourself. 52% of all Americans are engaged in the market, but there are only a few that are engaged, about 12% directly. What do I mean? Indirect market participation is an IRA, is a bond, is a mutual fund. That's indirect participation. But direct participation is when you open up a brokerage account yourself and then you make the decisions. That's what we allow you to do. Very quickly, this is not about me, but I'm a 3rd generation educator. I wrote a book called The Money Market Autopsy. And the course of study included money market literacy, education that I was oblivious to when I was a teacher in high school. I taught economics to seniors. First student I reached back 15 years ago, later to tell me that I had changed his life. He was a millionaire. His mother was a millionaire. His father was a millionaire. His sister, his brother, things of that nature. And so once I stopped teaching, I changed my business focus, and I own a commercial trucking company, a commercial real estate, and I became a full-time independent trader. And so word of mouth has evolved to an international money market literacy day trading academy that we are yet growing as we speak. Just a blast from the past. That is what I used to do and what I used to be. And that's what I used to do there. I painted 80 Walmarts a couple of years ago, but then I found out that I could make more money lying in bed than most people were making on their feet all day. And the change for me was a no-brainer. And so now I spend time helping people, trying to help them do what I'm doing. This is just a little journal of what we do. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You will not make $1 million tomorrow, but if you learn, you'll be able to put yourself in position to do some great things. This is what all of our students do. This is what we call a journal. We write in our journal every single day all the things that happen in the market, because this is a true education and a true application of a skill. This is one of the weeks trading in, I think, June, July, somewhere in that nature, And that was 1 week of trading there. This week's, I want to talk about this week's verified third-party audited financials. The trading capital was $9,000 this week. And you may be saying to yourself, I don't have $9,000 of trading capital. As I mentioned, 52% of US citizens have money in markets through different vehicles that will allow you to take out a loan to use it. That's a strategy of the wealthy. They've been doing that forever, and it's called OPM, using other people's money. So, and also there are a myriad of prop firms that will allow you to simulate through your brokerage account using our software on their platform. And most require that you do this for 15 days, and then they will give you money to trade and then allow you to take 80% of the profits. So what I'm simply saying is all you need is the education, and the funding is available. Back to the money. So the old number at the beginning of this week was $9,000. The new number was $10,150. So that's an increase of 12%. Now, notice this was only 4 days of trading, August the 30th through September the 2nd. So that's just a little microcosm of what can be done once you get the education. Once you get the education, once you understand, what's going on, and kind of work through that. So I also want to talk about the fact that we are able to do this even in the midst of the fundamental manipulation. And what I mean by that is that the markets are a manipulated environment. We understand the manipulation, and we know how to work through and work around the manipulation. So for example, on August the 30th, you can see that there was on August the 30th, there was what we call a red folder here. So you see this red folder right in here. And so all day there was manipulation going on in the market. Here's a red folder at 10 o'clock, 2 red folders here at 10 o'clock. And as you can see, but on those days, we still were profitable. Here on this day, August the 31st, there was a red folder here, non-farm employment change. But even though there is market manipulation, what we do and what we have available helps you get around that. Is really important and to understand that that is just a fact about the manipulation. So why artificial intelligence? Competitive advantage. 80 to 85% of all orders, market and limit, are placed by machines. Technology creates both efficiency and consistency due to the increased speed. As you well know, software provides context. Why is price moving in the manner that it's moving? This is what our software looks like. So when the market sentiment begins to change, so does the screen begin to change, which gives you extra confirmation on what is actually happening in the market. So we call this the brown goose. It has been said that the goose laid golden eggs, where this goose lays green eggs. And so it's important that you understand. However, again, I must reiterate that this is not a get rich quick scheme, that this is going to require at least an hour, hour and a half of your time every single day to look at charts and to go over things. And so you can have questions for the next day. I will also reiterate that we are a unicorn in this space, because there is no one who you will be able to give money to for this and talk to every single day. I'm talking about personally, as we take you by the hand and walk you through this curriculum. This is the book that I wrote, is one of the required readings there. And it's important that you kind of get this information so that you can find that on Amazon. Our faculty and staff, so it's not a one-man band. It's a multiplicity of people. So you have Lakeisha Brown with technology technicians, administrations. You have David Posner, who is a teaching professor. Lieutenant Colonel Russell B. Brownfield, retired. He is a teaching professor. Torrance Lamar Ankles is one. Joey Shinara is one. Orlandis Ganaway, Elise Ford. They help us with the sales and the marketing. This is a picture of the team, and this is truly true, that your outcome is more important than our income, because that's what we know that we've been called to do. So this is a moral obligation as well as a mechanical obligation for us as well. This is Russell. He's a teaching professor here with us. Now, our philosophy is simply this: we'll teach you, we'll tell you, we teach you, then we involve you, and then you make your own way prosperous. Freshman class, sophomore class, junior class, senior class, and then on to the graduate level, which you'll be privy to today as we go into a graduate lesson today. You're welcome to stick around and be a fly on the wall as well. Now, let's put some reality to what we're talking about. 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 15 months. So if you think about this, that all of this that you see, this is one chart. And there are a couple of charts that look like this. You're not going to learn all of this and be able to execute all of this in 3 months. So the way it would look is that you would get an opportunity to learn here. You get an opportunity to learn here. So you would be learning, 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 you would be learning. And then as you begin to learn, then now you're ready to start simulating. And then as you do that, you start going up, because now you've gotten to the point where you are doing well on the simulator, and now you're here. And before you know it, you're here. So if you're talking about being efficient, if you're talking about making, let's say 3% per day, that's 60% per month. That's over 600% in a year. This is no time to wait to be able to potentially make 600% on your money. So the question would be, why would you rush? Why would you even think about rushing? It's a learning process. It's a learning process. Patience. You really won't really understand for real, as my children say, until you get here. All that is happening and all that's involved. You understand? But you think about this. That means if you take $10,000 and you start trading it, and in 6 months You make 3%. What kind of money is that? So what is this to give? I've known people that have gone to undergrad, graduate school, got a doctorate, and still barely make six figures. That's going to school 4 years, another 3 years, that's 7, and then a doctorate, that's almost 10 years of school. So what's 15? What's 9 months? What is 9 months? To say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to get this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to change my life, and the life of my posterity. This is our outside sales staff, Elise Ford, and Mr. Ganaway. We'll be starting our Edge TV. Actually, we'll start shooting the first shows, and we're going to have a financial show where we're just talking about markets and what's going on. We'd love for you to be a part of that. This young man is a young man I love to brag on. His name is Fabrice Casaculo, and he's going to be the co-host on that television channel with me. He's an African refugee. He came to this country 5 years ago, learned the language, learned how to trade, and he was able to walk away from his job a couple of months ago. And so he's a fine young man. But if he can do it, and he is not as fluent in English as we are, and he's not, did not get the Western American education like we did, but he still applied himself and made sure that he learned. Speaking of that, it is an education. So here's the course syllabus. Here is what we do. And here is our main objective. Our main objective is to make sure that you actually learn what's going on. So you want to give yourself that time. You want to give yourself that time and not put pressure on yourself, because we're going to teach you all this. We're going to teach you how to define these 4 stages of delivery. We're basically going to teach you how the market works, price action cycle. We're going to teach you that. Now, here's the key. This is something that you have to come. Class attendance and participation is necessary for successful completion of this course. And I know that you can understand the importance of that. How does the market really work? In order to experience consistency in the market, in order to do that, you have to surrender to our rules-based approach. This is not a situation like you in class or on a job. You get a job and you say, well, I hear what they say, but I'm going to do something different, because then you would be what we call dumb money. And at that point, they'll hurt you. The smart money is what we are. And so that's what our education is. It makes you the smart money, and you understand the players in the market so that you can move forward and see some results. How the market really works. The markets are very structured, and our education is designed to teach you about that structure, about the manipulation, about how it's set up, about even what the market maker is trying to do. So it's very structured, and we teach you that, and we help you get through that. How the market really works. Volume increases and decreases, and it alerts us. It alerts the software to let us know when the market is going up, when it's going down, things of that nature. So it's a beautiful thing. So the market works by distribution and accumulation. It's going to get to a place where it's going to sell off. It's going to get to a place where they're going to buy. And we'll teach you all of those things as well. So now, this is what our software looks like. You'll be able to identify these zones. You'll be able to identify this manipulation on this down channel, which is a trick by the enemy. And you'll be able to know, okay, that is the trick. This is where I get in. This is where I make my money. A small movement like that, depending on how much money you're trading, can be $1,000, can be $500, just depending on how much money you're starting with. So that's important that you understand that. There's a difference in volatility when smart money distributes. That's how we know what's going on. And so we know the smart money motive. So therefore we can sit back and we can get involved when the market is ready to leave and get into the buy zone, head into the sell zone, or vice versa. That's what we do. So it's important that you understand that. Again, this is what our software looks like. This is what it looks like when it's moving. As you can see, it's moving now. And as you can see, there's a chart marker that has just been placed on that chart. That marker is placed there for a reason, because a character change has taken place at that particular place. And what we're now doing is we're moving through the 5 phases of a trade setup. Phase number 1 is forecasting, knowing where the market should and should not go. Phase number 2 is recognition, recognizing when it gets there. Phase number 3 is entry criteria, knowing that the criteria has been met for you to engage that market. Phase number 4 is capital preservation, knowing where to put your stop loss to say, is at this spot, drop dead. I refuse to lose more money than this, because you can't make money from money that is gone. So it's important that you preserve that capital. Now, so as you can see, the recognition phase is taking place. That's the entry phase. Now we're in management, and now we're managing it. We're waiting for the target to be hit. Bam, that's the exit of the trade. You just saw those 5 phases. The forecasting was done, the recognition was done, the entry was done, the management was done, and the exit was done. And you see that one little trade, that one little movement was $1,455. That was trading the equivalent of what we call 10 contracts. So that is how the market works. That is what we do. Our artificial intelligence is a tool that does what? It processes images, recognizes patterns, networks with other technology, the brokerage firm, and it'll help you. So it can help you to know when the market is going up, when the market conditions are favorable, exactly when to enter, how long to wait for targets to be hit, and when to exit for those small losses to preserve the capital. So that's the execution, the forecasting, the opportunity recognition, the capital preserving and management, and the efficient exits. So you'll be taught how to do this forecast, identifying the macro trouble spots and on the hourly chart in critical trading zones. Phase 2, which is recognition, you'll be taught that the recognition of trade setups and trade confirmations. You'll be taught how to understand the market's objective, to manage it, to go for single targets or multiple targets or risk reduction. You'll understand that it is critical. And then you'll understand, how do I get out of these trades? How do I exit? So our day trading academy, this is what you receive. You get artificial intelligence software, you get spot on analysis, you get exclusive access to the members chat room where we post our results in there. You see trading reports from other members. You get live classes every single day at the Money Market Edge Day Trading Academy virtually. You have video access 24 hours a day. You get direct support access. Now, this is for members only, and you get all course related or software technical questions and problems answered and solved in a very timely manner. Weekly evening Q&A sessions are twice a week as well for those who need it. Now, I kept my promise to you. I showed you and I explained to you about our education that you can actually bank on. So I made it abundantly clear how the marketplace actually works. I explained the 4 phases of price delivery in an elementary, simple to understand fashion. And I believe I kept my promise. I made it crystal clear how advantageous it would be for you to join our social group because of our relationships and our product and our education, and begin to making more money in one day than a lot of people make all week. Again, this is what you get. Welcome to the Edge if you decide to do this. Daily Q&A sessions, you get the software, you get the strategy, you get the support, and we made a coach's pledge that your outcome is more important than our income, and therefore success for all can be had. Now, I will be honest with you, wealth is a choice. There are many people who choose not to be wealthy. And if they choose not to be wealthy, that's fine, because wealth is a choice. You don't have to be wealthy. You can continue to, work a lot and you can continue to do that. But what we're saying is wealth is a choice. In the futures market that we trade, there are 437.4 billion with a B, Billy, boy, bank, $1 billion that's traded every single day. If you get 10 or 20 a day, nobody will pay any attention to that. And as you work your way up, but if you get 100 a day, somebody said 10, 20, 1,000, I'll take 200 where you can get that. And all it takes is the consistency. Again, I said wealth is a choice. So now, in order to be wealthy, you have to have an investing strategy. You have to have an investing strategy. Then you have to have a protection strategy. And we're going to have our next wealth conference, and I'm going to bring in professionals in these areas here, protection with the trust, things of that nature, enrolled agents, so you can really get all the tax benefits. But that's our goal here. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Think about it. The only reason you subject yourself to learning this and going through the emotional ups and downs is to be wealthy. So that's what we do. And I want to just simply just give you just an idea. If you take 200 days and you take 10,000 bucks and you make 3% a day, in 200 days, that is what you would make. You can put it in your own calculator. That's $3.6 million. That's 200 days with $10,000 making 3%. How can that happen? That happens by watching videos. That happens by doing it correctly. That happens by showing up to class, asking questions, getting clarity. That happens by not giving up. That happens by not being in your feelings if you lose a little money. You have to learn. You have to learn. And once you do, then the consistency will clearly show itself. If you just take $5,000, for example, and you say, okay, I'm gonna put myself on this plan. For the first 2 months, I want to trade one contract and I want to try to get 80 ticks. And that means that you would make in that month, you would make $400 per day. And that means you would make 8,000 that month. Does this happen in month 1? No. Month 2? No. Month 3? No. Month 4? No. Month 9, start simulating. Now month 10, 11, 12 through 15 to the rest of your life. The problem is that if you deliver anything prematurely, it's going to be a disaster. If a baby comes out prematurely, we need a lot of prayer to help them. If a cake comes out prematurely, if meat comes out prematurely, if anything comes out prematurely, it's going to be a disaster. But even if you take it out of the oven, let's say you come out prematurely, go back in the oven. Stop. Let me go back in the oven. Let me get back to the singing. Let me get back to class. Let me get back to my videos. Let me get back to answering questions. I don't care if anybody thinks it's a dumb question. I'm going to ask questions until I understand. Now, my great sister, Elise Ford, is a great example of that. She was going to ask questions, and she's trades profitably now, but she asks 1 million questions per day. That means in 5 days, that's 5 million questions, in 20 days. But that's my girl. But guess what? She learned. That's how you have to do. Sometimes people are afraid to ask questions because of what someone else might think. Man, no one's paying your bills. It doesn't matter what you think. Like, I'm going to learn this. Like, that was my mindset 20 years ago. And that should be your mindset today, period. But here's the thing, it's a choice. Now, what kind of mindset do you have? If you have a fixed mindset, it'll be difficult. A fixed mindset says, I'm either good at it or I'm not. I'm just not good at this. It just seems like I'm not good at this. When I'm frustrated, I give up. You know what? I've been trying this. It's been 3 months. It's been 6 months. You know what? It's been 9 months. I don't know if I made the right decision. I don't like to be challenged. I don't want to put pictures in, or I don't want to ask questions because he may challenge me on why I did what I did, and I don't really like that kind of confrontation. When I fail, I'm just no good. I need you to tell me I'm smart. Tell me I'm doing it right when I'm doing it wrong. Just tell me that. If you succeed, I feel threatened. Well, you can do it, and so my abilities determine everything. Well, I just don't have. I didn't make good grades in school. I didn't make the cheer squad. I got cut from the football team. I can't do it. But if you have a growth mindset, this is what you say. You say, you know what? I can learn anything. I can learn anything. We have, and Ricky, he allows me to say this publicly, so I'm not talking behind his back. His name is Ricky Matthews. He has a 6th grade education. and he trades profitably, and he tells his story, and he gives his testimony about that. I told you about Fabris, who came here from another country. I can learn anything I want to. When I'm frustrated, I get up, get me a glass of water. Sometimes people get something stronger, and then they keep going and persevere. I want to challenge myself. I will not be defeated by this. When I fail, I learn. You know what? I failed, but I learned. So when I lost money, I don't look at it as losing money. I look at it as paying my tuition. When you go to school, you do not go for free. Most people, you don't go for free. You have to pay tuition. Those people with a growth mindset, they see losing money as tuition. I just had to pay for my education because I'm going to get it. Tell me I try hard. If you succeed, I'm inspired, and my effort and my attitude determines everything. So if you like what you see, more information, you can book a call, go to moneymarketedge.com, and you can do that. If you have a group of people, you say, you know what, this would be great for my group, for my church, for my business, my fraternity, my sorority, my glee club, you know, anything, my shuffleboard group, my card playing friends, my club buddies, club friends, whatever, will come out and do a presentation and kind of explain that. That is the number that you need to call. So now you're welcome to stick around. So now, for you who are students, we're going to move forward, and we're talking about, and we need to talk about this idea of probability. So when we go deeper into this analysis, when we go deeper, the deeper the analysis is going to help you build a case for your entry. So now, volume analysis, market balance, and imbalance.